Looks like I'm doing a lot of videos today. Here's my next batch of tea for kombucha. It's still a little too hot to put in. This is kind of a concentrate of black tea. So we're going to add this, and then we're going to add more water. This is like, I don't know, between 25 and 30 bags of tea. This is what's left of after bottling our kombucha today. By the way, I tried it. It was amazing. Of course, it's just plain black tea kombucha with sugar, you know, so there's really nothing special about it. It kind of reminds me of a Buddha's brew, which did go into a SCOBY from a Buddha's brew. Did go in here. There's actually technically 3 sources of SCOBY. I forgot to mention that we did put a bottle of GT in here. We ordered a SCOBY from Amazon. Not that they are a sponsor, but if you want to sponsor me, Amazon, I am welcome to that. But it's really hard to see the other SCOBYs. We could see them earlier as we were bottling. But I did find, well, there's one little piece. Let's see. Looks like you can kind of see some of the SCOBY. Oh, wait, there it is. That is one of the SCOBYs. I can't tell if, I think that's the one we bought from Amazon, but there's a smaller one in there. I think that's it right there. You can kind of see in there. That was from a bottle of GT's, no, a bottle of Buddha's Brew, and then we put a whole bottle of GT in here just to give it a variety of different symbiotic cultures of yeast and bacteria, which is what a SCOBY is. And here's the remaining part we left in there as starter fluid for the next batch. We're going to add this tea as soon as it cools down to room temperature, which is about 20-something degrees too hot right now. And here is, I got to keep it covered from direct light, otherwise it will, right now we're bottle conditioning it. We would like it a little bit carbonated, so we're going to let it sit for about a day in here. We got quite a bit of, I already drank a bottle, and a half a bottle, another half a bottle was drank. It's a couple of gallons here. These are pretty big bottles. These are from some coffee. It's cold brewed. As you can tell, it's pretty clear. It was a little murky. I thought I might need to use some clarifier, like from, I used to brew a lot of beer back in the day. You can see some SCOBY on that one. All right. Yeah, that one got some SCOBY in it. I'll be drinking some good SCOBY on that one. I used to brew beer and wine back in the day. That was the first thing that came out of it. So that's most of the unclarified stuff came out first. And it seemed like towards the end we got more and more clarified. You can tell that some of this stuff's pretty see-through, very clear. It was very plain, just black tea, no flavoring or anything. So there's nothing special about it, but it did taste really good. I mean, just tastes like good kombucha. I mean, black tea kombucha. I am making a special batch that has been kind of slow to cook off. That's the brewing term for when you're working something. I don't know what the technical term for brewing kombucha would be, but when you're brewing, cooking off is basically just a term for it working and it brewing, and basically taking the caffeine and sugar, in the case of kombucha, to turning it into amino acids and other good probiotics. That what I like about this jar is it tells you the temperature of the room. It's between 72 and 74 degrees. I don't know if you can see that. So it's about 73 degrees in here. That's a little bit cold for kombucha. Better 75, between 75 and 78, probably be ideal from what I remember. Of course, it's been about 2 years since I've looked that up, so you may want to double check me on that. But this SCOBY, I tried to make more natural. It basically, I didn't buy a SCOBY for this one, and that's why we ordered a SCOBY and made sure and added multiple sources of SCOBY on that big batch, because this one took a little while for it to, I actually forgot to add tea to this. This is just pumpkin juice, from some pumpkins that we made pumpkin pie with. But it smells really good, vinegary and spicy. Like I added cinnamon and cloves to it, so it actually smells pretty good. It's very interesting looking. Definitely different looking SCOBY. It's not as healthy as this big SCOBY. This thing grew in like 6 days, so that's how you know you got a good healthy SCOBY, is when you can make a batch of kombucha in 6 days. Normally my experience has been, because we've made more complex versions of kombucha, that it's taken up to 3 or 4 weeks for it to condition to a very good, pleasant tasting kombucha. But since this was just a black tea plain kombucha, it worked very easily and very well. And it just tastes like kombucha. I mean, you would think with no flavor additives and things like that, it wouldn't really taste very good, but it, you know, basically tastes like a sour tea, like a lemonade tea. Like if you were to add a little bit of vinegar and lemon to a tea, it's kind of what it tastes like. You see how it's bubbling up because it is still living and working. You can't really see the bubbles, but been keeping a I don't have my cover for this thing. I have a black cover, but we're using a pillowcase right now to keep it from the direct light. But anyway, I just wanted to give everyone a little update from the video earlier. Showed our SCOBY, and we've bottled it, and we're bottle conditioning, hoping to get a little bit of carbonation in that before we drink it and put it in the fridge, which will slow down the fermentation process and pretty much quit most of its activity at that point. So we want to make sure and get a little carbonation in it. We didn't add anything to it, so it may not condition very well, but you can see some bubbles on the top, so hopefully they'll it'll bottle. It's called bottle conditioning as far as when you're brewing beer. I don't know what the term would be when you're brewing kombucha, but I'm sure it's very similar. Very, very clear. Some of these got some chunks of SCOBY in them, like that one right there, which, if anyone knows about a SCOBY, it's really good for your stomach and gut probiotic. It's got amino acids made from caffeine and good probiotics made from the yeast and the SCOBY, the symbiotic culture of yeast and bacteria. Very healthy drink, good for your skin, good for your face. I mean, you can just rub this, you know, dip a cloth in some of this stuff and rub it on you, and it's really good for you. If you got any kind of skin conditions, you can take a piece of that big old SCOBY in there and just put it on your skin directly. It might burn a little bit if you have any open parts to your skin. If you've got any cuts or anything like that, it could burn. You may want you want to make sure and keep this all your kombucha out of direct light. It will kill it. So anyway, nice little update for you guys. Hope you're watching. Bye.